Hey mamas, it's Sarah Fela here. You can find me at momcoachsarah.com or momcoachsarah on Instagram. I am a life and health coach for moms. I do a lot with weight loss as well. And so today what we're going to talk about are 4 things to help you survive the fall. Mom's Survival Guide 101, okay? So I am realizing a lot of these questions and conversations I'm having with my current clients. And so I was like, oh, right, this happens every year at this time. I actually want to start doing like an annual event at this time, right? It's September when I'm recording this. Kids are back in school. And I feel like as a mom, like this really is like a new year in a sense for us. Like it's the summer, it's a shift, it's a transition, right? Like I often have my clients work through life with like 3 semesters. You have the fall, and then you have after Christmas, that spring, and then you have summer. Our lives are kind of divided into 3 stages depending on the ages of your kids, right? If you have toddlers, you're just all on all the time. But once your kids are in school, you'll start to really notice these like chunks and the seasons and how they work like that. So going into the fall, there are common themes that always happen. So I'd love you to grab some notes, and then you can have some conversations with your kids, with your spouse, whatever that looks like for you, your partner, that will really help you handle this season just with more peace, right? Like a lot of my clients, they just want more peace. They just want to just like not have everything feel so crazy. And it doesn't have to be, but it takes a little intentionality. So I have 4 points for you. And the first one, these aren't necessarily in any order, but I'm just going to go with them. So the first one is focus on your health now, not in January. Okay. There is nothing magical about January that will help you lose weight, that will help you feel better, that will actually even help you get started. So I want you to take time to prioritize what that looks like for you. Okay. There's no expectation, there's no rules as to what it actually looks like. But for you, what makes you feel healthy? Are you getting sleep? Are you drinking water? Are you moving your body in a way that feels good to you? These are different things so imagine like going into the holidays feeling healthy, feeling energized, feeling confident. That starts today. Okay. So your future self will thank you if you start today. There's nothing magical about then. So I just want to start out with that, because really, what kind of energy you bring to your family, to your kids, to your work, to whatever it is that you care about in your life, your community, your church, whatever it is, it really starts with your body needing to be strong to show up for you. So how can you show up for your body now? You don't have to go all crazy. Just small little things really do add up, because it's health should be sustainable. And if the plan you're on right now is not sustainable, I would propose we find you a better plan. Okay. Of course, I can help you do that, but focus on your health now. Number 2 is your house. I've been having so many conversations with clients lately about just feeling this need to declutter. What can you do now to help get things organized as you head into the fall? For me, I do HelloFresh more often in the fall, because for us, sports. I have 3 boys in sports right now. So it's like literally like after school, I feel like all of a sudden I'm actually like working, even though I like have my own job. I'm a coach and I have all these other things. Like once school's out, I'm like, all right, it's on. Like, let's get to this practice and let's go here. And so-and-so's got a game, and we're carpooling and we're doing all the fun things that I love. And I want to be a part of that. Like that is a value for me, is to show up to these events, right? Like I see friends, my kids are doing, it's just so fun. So with that, like one of the things I do for my own sanity is I do more HelloFresh. Sure, I know it's cheaper for me just to organize it and do it all myself, but that like what, 20, 30 bucks extra I spend a week when I do that, it buys me sanity. And that is worth way more than 20, 30 bucks or whatever the difference would be, right? I don't always use it because I don't always need it. So that's something. I have a housekeeper come one extra time a month once school starts, because I know that we are all in it. And it is just a little bit more interesting to try to keep this place feeling good. I try to declutter. Like, so, every fall I go through my closet. I try to go through the garage. We'll see how that gets. So what does it look like for you to actually take and organize your house? Like, do you need to just take, a 2-hour chunk and grab a bag and go through some stuff? Do you need to go through your closet? Do you need to hire some help? Do you need to use a food service? Do you need to just let it go and be like, hey, I'm okay with this and not feel guilty about it? What does that look like for you? It's just sometimes it's really nice but going into the holidays, having some of that clutter gone so that you're going to end up with more clutter, right? If you have children. So that is something that I want you to think about and be intentional about now. So we talked about your health, the house. This is another one that is super important. Just the third tip for you: guard your calendar with your life. Here's something that I really often help my clients do. It's okay to say no. It is okay to disappoint people. And if that is hard for you, there's some inner work that you can do. But here's the deal: you need to include yourself on the same level that you include how much you care for other people. Often, I mean, maybe there's different reasons that you don't want to disappoint people, but like it could be shame, it could be, don't want to disappoint people, it could be stories you tell yourself of what it looks like to be a good human, all of that stuff. I just want you to know that it is okay for you to cross things off, to not volunteer for everything, to say no, to set boundaries, to evaluate. And here's the thing: you don't always know going into something if it's like right or wrong for you. So it can take trial and error. And in different seasons, I always talk to my mamas about this, like the seasons change and what you want to do and don't do will change. So it takes just a hot minute to evaluate. Like if you go look at your calendar right now, how does it feel? Like, does it feel like too much? Does it feel good to you? Does it feel like, no, this is awesome? Maybe you do want to volunteer for something else because actually you're not doing enough, which I don't really find that to be the case with most of the moms I'm working with. When that does happen, it's usually more an issue of your calendar is full, but there's nothing on it for you that's actually filling you up, whether that's like a date night with your friends or with your man or your spouse, or it's, just a walk or a massage or whatever feels good to you, like a time to read a book, like 1 hour just to do something for just you. But generally speaking, most mamas in this season are fully in it because school just started and there's sports and all the stuff. So guard your calendar. What does it look like for you to take care of your calendar starting now? Do you need to actually maybe like back out of some things? It's okay, right? All those volunteer slips are going to start coming around, and you don't have to feel any kind of way when you say no. And you don't have to make an excuse, right? Sometimes we want to say, no, I would love to, but you can just say no. I don't know, whoever, said that first, like no can be a complete sentence. So I want to just offer that to you to keep that. I feel like I have a little thing. I've been talking a lot today. I love days that I just have clients back to back. It's like I get all energized and then I have all this stuff I want to say. So focus on your health now, right? Your health should always be a priority, because if you lose your health, what do you have, right? Your house. What does it look like for you to kind of just semi keep this thing in order? My office is up in this like room in our house. So that's why I'm saying here, guard your calendar. Also, what you do when you guard your calendar is you are offering the people you love most, right? Like your kids that you only have for whatever season. You guys, my oldest is in 10th grade and he's actually talking to the counselor later this week or next week about graduating a year early. Like tears, if you want to see tears. I'm so excited for him, but I'm like, that literally means like I maybe have like a year and a half left with this kid. And then I have a 7th grader and a 2nd grader, right? So like what you are doing when you guard your calendar is you're actually just prioritizing your presence for those that you love and where you want to be and how you want to show up, right? Because you can be somewhere and not be present, right? We have all done it. But like, what kind of energy do you want to have for your family? Like, do you want to bake the cookies for the bake sale? If that means that then you're like grumpy at your kids, maybe that doesn't, you get to decide. Like I said, there's no right or wrong here. It's just figuring out what works for you in this season of life. But your presence is so important. And I've just even been seeing this last couple of weeks. Like I was talking to my husband and I was like, baby, like they are really like drawing in right now. Like, and us just actually just being here at the house. Like the other night, like my middle one came into my room and sat on the couch and talked to me like in a span of an hour, like 6 times. He just needed to verbally process, right? I had to hold back from wanting to give advice or, giving perspective or, I just was like, I just let him talk. And our kids need that. And especially as they get older, it looks different, yes, than chasing a toddler around, but like just being present. Even our oldest right now, like he's just been around a lot, meaning not like wanting to just hide in his room. And I'm like, husband, what's going on? Like, I'm like, I don't want to jinx it. Be present, because these are like super precious moments, right? That you want. And so with that, some people could take that to the extreme. I'm not saying that when you're not here, I'm just saying wherever you are, be there, right? Like if you are at work, be at work, do the thing, love the thing. If you're volunteering, do the thing and love it. Just like your reasons is what one of my coaches always says. As long as you like your reasons, that works for you. But remember, there's a cost to saying yes to something, right? We can shift and move, but there's always a cost. And you get to figure out how to make that work for you based on your goals, your family, your season of life. And the final one, you ready for this one? The final thing to help you with this mom's fall survival guide is have a conversation about the holidays now. Okay. Like, you know, how often do you find yourself being like, or I hear moms being like, oh my gosh, it's Christmas. How'd this happen? Oh my gosh, like what's happening? And this also happens with the calendar, right? Like, you know, maybe it's that like after Thanksgiving, those first like 3 weeks of December, I feel like there's like 400 Christmas parties and you're just like, what's happening here? Like, I just need a hot minute. Know that comes up. So that was kind of touches on the last one of like really like guarding your calendar. But a few things that I wrote down that are really helpful for my clients when it comes to the holidays is have a conversation with whoever is important in your life, boyfriend, spouse, kids, whatever your situation is, about money, right? Do you need to be like, are you planning ahead right now? Or come January, are you just going to like, you know, stick your head in the sand, make the holidays work, not have a conversation, but then there's actually drama and stress in your marriage and in your life because that's how you handled the holidays? Or what could you do now? Could you put some money away? Whatever, however you do Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas, like what does that look like for you? The other thing is time. Yeah, what does it look like? Are you going to say yes to every party? Are you going to host your own party? Who does the shopping if you do the parties? Like, does, you know, how does it work like in your marriage? You know, like, does your, you know, if you do the shopping, does your man like pick up more at the house? Like, how do you divide these tasks so that everyone is feeling joyful and actually able to enjoy the holidays instead of just providing this crazy chaos for everybody else to enjoy? And the third, have a conversation about family boundaries. What does that look like for you, right? Like if you have issues with siblings, in-laws, in whatever, like all the different layers that entails, what are boundaries that you need to set in place now, and have the conversation beforehand, not in the moment, right? Like that's like a rule for so many things, like in marriage and in life. Like in the heat of the moment, a conversation is way different than a conversation outside of that stress of whatever that is. So when it comes to the holidays, money, how you're going to spend your time, and then are there any boundaries when it comes to family? Also, you know, even gifts, like what are your expectations? Like as your kids get older, does the gifts change? What is the family flow? All of those different things. The more you can communicate about that. And I know you might be like, Sarah, like you work with moms and you're telling me to go do all this, like when and how and where? Like, yeah, who has time for that? Well, I get it. And I understand that. And that's why I am telling you now to have the conversation, and also to say, hey, look, like I understand it. That's why I also work with moms. Like if you need that support, reach out to me and we can set up a time and I can talk about what it looks like to work together. So I'm a coach for moms, right? Because like it's a lot that you carry. Like when you write down like everything that you are managing, and like no wonder it's like, oh my gosh, it's just all too much. I just want to like go zone out, right? Like if you're finding yourself needing to always zone out from your life, if you're finding yourself, you know, like too many bottles of wine every week or whatever it is that is your coping mechanism, if you're turning to food because you just feel overwhelmed and then it's like affecting your body in a way that you don't feel good about, and you know you're not really like serving yourself, those are all signs to take a step back and reevaluate and be like, okay, what is going on here? And how can I support myself, whether that's through a coach, whether that's through a friend, or whether that's through like someone, you know, maybe there's a group in your town, like a mom's group or something at church that like offers you that support that you need. Get that support you need and know there's nothing wrong with you. It's not embarrassing. I'm super independent. I get it. Like I want to think I can do it all on my own and I can't. This like mama gig, it takes a village. Okay. And so there's nothing wrong with you needing support. So I just want to have that conversation. I hope this is really helpful as we go into the fall, right? Before things start getting like completely chaotic and you're just like, wow, it's like that initial kids go back to school and there's a 2 or 3 week just like crazy, right? And then you have a lull and then it gets super busy again, once the holidays start. So take this time, really analyze, what do you want for you, right? You are just an important piece of the equation as your kids, as your spouse, as your job, as your community. Don't put them above yourself, right? Like you need to look out for you too. And that's so that you can actually serve better, right? When you are taken care of. So I hope this was helpful. There's so much more I could say. I know that was a lot. And I will talk to you later.